Hey everybody, it's Glenda here from Cynically Glenda. A conversation I had today with my husband in regards to AI got me thinking about a number of different things. And it was all started the other day when I was within a chat forum. And we were talking about an image that had been posted within this chat forum. And a lot of people were saying it was AI. Because within this chat forum, we're more about real pictures, genuine pictures or images, and expressing our opinions, etc., etc. And a lot of people are kind of annoyed within this particular group about a lot of the AI-generated posts. And I fully understand that because a lot of them are just really off. And they don't even look like the people they're supposed to represent. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, this particular image was posted of someone from a particular YouTube genre. And they mentioned, I'm sick of this AI stuff. But I pointed out that it wasn't AI. It was actually an image that had been photoshopped. It had been edited, and it was obvious, it was screaming that it was photoshopped. And I explained to everybody I had just seen the image because I was going back watching a few old videos in this genre, related to this image. And I pointed out the obvious edited parts of the the image. And the people there were struggling to understand what I meant. So I was basically asked, is this AI or is this a real image? And I explained to them, yes, it is a real image, but it has been badly photoshopped. And then I went into another chat group and commented about the fact that some people are struggling to tell the difference between AI, photoshopped images, and the real image. Now, as many of you may know, I'm 64 years old. I'm no expert on these subjects, and even though I've been working with computers since probably mid to late 1980s, I am definitely not an expert. I am definitely not well versed in a lot of the different ways of editing a photo, generating an image, etc. Now, even back in the days of television and movies, there were often things that were done to camera lenses to make women look a little bit younger, to sort of make them seem a lot less harsher on screen. Things like putting Vaseline on the lens, using very thin gauze over the camera lens to soften, but not so much that it would distort the image. So it's always something that's been done. And we all know about the various theatrical makeup techniques that are often used. Like in black and white images, I'm just trying to think. In order to have something appear on screen like red lips, they were often given a black lipstick or something along those lines. Way back in the days when they wanted to someone look deathly pale, they would use a that pale green foundation to sort of, that's just some of it. Anyway, in this modern day and age, we have a number of different terms like photo editing, or in this case, photoshopping, where you take an original image and you can manipulate it to look a certain way. Like photography now, over a number of years, apologies for the stuttering, but I'm trying to sort of collect all my thoughts. Photography over the years, in order to make a woman look thinner, before the age of photoshopping, etc., they would get them to stand in a certain way, and it would take pounds off them to hold their head in a certain way. So we've always, in some way, shape or form, manipulated images and the like. But then again, we had photo editing, which a lot of photographers would resort to. And I know back in the day, like 20, 30, 40 years ago, they would often manipulate images of women on magazines to make a blemish disappear or dark circles under a woman's eyes. But now photoshopping has become so extreme that a lot of the images we are seeing on social media, for example, on beauty channels and skincare channels, makeup channels, weight loss channels, people are actually manipulating their image so much that you can detect the issues within the image if you look closely enough. And photoshopping is his favourite one for everybody. And it makes people look unrealistic. It really does. You look at all the Kardashians, they're infamous for manipulating and editing their images so that they look a lot younger than what they are. They look skinnier, etc., etc. They look better. Now, you have CGI, which is a computer-generated image, and the image is completely built from scratch on a screen, and it's moved and it's manipulated to appear like it's real. You look in a lot of movies where there are larger-than-life monsters. For example, I just finished watching Reign of Fire with Matthew McConaughey, Christian Bale, Gerard Butler in it, where there are dragons. And the dragon images in that movie, it was a 2002 movie, they're all computer-generated images. And they did quite well. And nowadays, our technology has become so good that you struggle to tell the difference between CGI and the real thing. Not that there are real dragons, but you know what I mean. Now, going on to AI. AI is a totally different thing. AI is a tool, a program that is tasked to do a number of things. And part of what it does is it can generate images. It can take an image that it finds on the internet somewhere via its various channels, and you can specify which image you want to alter, and you can add text, you can change whatever the person is wearing. 9 times out of 10, if you want a computer or an AI generated image, it will take a number of different images from actors, actresses, people online, images of attractive people, etc., etc. And they will create an image of someone that looks like some people we might know, but is someone that doesn't exist. And they can now make those images talk and move, but you can still see that they are computer generated, they are AI generated. And especially when it's like a video of, two people talking or whatever. Most AI images, their mouths won't move right. They don't blink often enough. And they don't breathe. And you will see, for example, I've been hit with a lot of weight loss images because I'm a female. And the computer or the AI generated images, because they're promoting it to reach a certain audience, you will see a stunningly beautiful woman who has been manipulated to look like she's 40 something, but she has a bodybuilder's body, very toned, very muscular, etc., but not to the point where she's no longer feminine. And this is supposed to promote the idea that whatever exercise program they're happening to be offering will make you look like this person. But anyone who has been in the exercise industry, and I have, knows that that kind of figure comes through weight training and the right diet, and it takes a lot to get there. But and this is, I think, where the confusion is. We live in an age where technology has advanced so much that the average person struggles to figure out what is the difference. Most people they've forgotten about the CGI and the photoshopping. Everything's all AI to them. And another conversation I had the other night where I was talking about AI and the difference between AI and photoshopping, etc. And of course someone came in and started talking about all the images, etc., that have been, and videos and so on and so forth, that have been created, supposedly, to convince people that Trump is a bad thing. He's not a good president. And it became a left versus right discussion. But the thing is, Donald Trump has used AI himself to generate NFTs, videos, etc., for his own purpose. But some of the right are looking at things that are being put on the internet about Donald Trump, about his cronies, and saying, oh, it's just the far left that are creating videos and images, etc., fake images, AI images, etc., and are lying about Donald Trump. Now, if people fall for that kind of thing, in as much as they honestly believe that this is AI generated, when in actual fact it's what they're seeing is the truth, then how are we to be able to differentiate between the truth and lies? My husband said, bringing Trump into it, how do we know that Donald Trump hasn't died? How do we know that a lot of what we see on the internet isn't AI generated? And getting off the subject a little bit, and we both agree, my husband and I, and neither one of us are experts by any means, it's just our opinion based on the research that we've done. Most people don't know what AI is all about. Or they think they do, but they have no clue. And they wonder why it's the latest thing and why large corporations and billionaires are jumping on it. It's because it provides them with extra income. Because when it comes right down to it, the rich and the powerful just want more of whatever it is that keeps them going, which is either money or power or both. But what people don't realise, and they complain about corporations and scammers and different agencies collecting information. What do you think AI is doing? They build massive data centers to store information so that these computers, these AI generated programs, have access to them. But what people don't understand is AI shouldn't be any more than just a computer system that's set up to use the internet to access information. Why do they need massive data storage centers when the information is readily available out there? That's what people don't understand. Why do they need data storage facilities? Why do they need data centers? I've worked at a data center back in the banking days in the late 80s, early 90s. They had a massive computer system to store all the banking information on so that it was not released to the public. It was only available for banks. Now, all of that information is out there. Yes, banks have firewalls and security systems built so that this information is not accessed, but how many times have we heard of banks and government departments and all those sorts of things, insurance companies, etc., having their data systems breached? The internet is a great thing because it allows us access to so many different things, but allowing AI to store data, AI is a learning and a thinking program. And my husband put an idea out there that maybe they're collecting data so they can predict the future. Within reason, of course, because no one can predict the future right down to the millisecond. But I understand what he's going on about. What happens if billionaires use these systems with all this data stored in order to program a predictive system, a predictive program to try and predict when the next real estate crash will happen or the real estate boom, when people will be out spending their money, how AI will affect the world, economically. I can understand what he's going on about. So anyway, that's my thought. I've shared some information on the differences between some of these things, these instances, and the reality that the average person may not understand what they are. I only know enough to be able to tell the difference. I can look at most altered images, or I can watch a movie and know when something is computer generated, because dragons don't exist in the world. So I know that the dragon that I just saw on the screen a little while ago is not real. And in The Lord of the Rings, a lot of the creatures on there are computer generated. The same with Star Wars. All of these these TV series with these what's the word? Mythical creatures. They don't exist, and they're all created by a computer. But I can look at an AI generated image and I know, especially when it's a video, I can tell the difference between real and not real. But it is getting to the point now where it's difficult to tell the difference. And I think what's happening is people have been told that they're going to lose their jobs because of AI. That's not the purpose of AI, not as far as the powers that be are concerned. It's not about taking away your jobs, but that line of thinking has been pushed in order to take people's minds off what AI is really for. So anyway, I hope that gets you thinking. I appreciate your time, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.